Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep with another world that I actually kind of like. Wait, what's this? 2 worlds where I'm positive about Birth by Sleep? Oh yes, the surprises continue, but... yeah, excuse me, my throat's a little bit grunchy today. Yeah, before all that, more command melding. Whoopee! What ability will we get today with the Chaos Crystal? Oh, Combo Plus. Not bad, and we also get Faith. Not only is it Ventus' most powerful ability, but it's also the ability that you see Roxas pull off in Kingdom Hearts 2, where he shines a bunch of light out at people and they die. And as an added bonus in gameplay, it actually gives you health while dealing damage. It's pretty dang sweet. But yeah, also use Blitz and Slide, and what is our treasure? Come on, don't make a liar out of me. There we go, we also have Sonic Blade. And I believe I've already kind of shown this off beforehand, or I think I might show it off with Terra, but yeah, you can also get like Ice Slide, which basically turns your, jump slide into a, well, Ice Dash. Pretty cool.
Huh? What's that? Whoa! First! Try that again!
Ah, so now we actually have battles in space. A Star War, if you will. Except we're not going to Star Wars World, that won't be until Kingdom Hearts 4. Allegedly. But yeah, we also have very brief glider battles that don't really... Again, it's not something you're going to be doing a lot, it's really something you only do for, well, this world actually, so it's pretty much just getting you to grips with what you'll be doing primarily as Aqua, a little bit as Terra, but yeah, Ventus only really gets a taste of it. And yeah, to kind of further elucidate things, yeah, Terra enters this world first, then Aqua, then Ventus, so yeah, Ventus is pretty much picking up the slack here.
Trying to catch a ride, huh?
Don't get any more ideas. These guns are locked into your genetic signature. Huh? An intruder? All right, you. Don't get any funny ideas. So you're the intruder. Identify yourself.
My name is Ventus. The monster I was chasing boarded your ship.
Nice try. If there was another intruder aboard, we'd have detected it. Huh?
Intruder in the machinery bay! We lost control of the engines! It's some kind of monster!
Now you tell me. Stay right there. I have lots of unpleasant questions to ask you.
This is my fault. I have to do something. Huh?
Then, Terra Aqua.
What? You know Terra and Aqua?
Friend Circle.
Hey, is that a wayfinder?
The engines are under too much stress! We're risking an explosion!
What am I doing? There's no time! Huh? No, you need to stay here. It's too dangerous.
So yeah, to pretty much elucidate on what this world is, if you probably couldn't already tell with the two characters we met, yeah, this is pretty much the Lilo and Stitch world, and you might be wondering, are we ever going to see Hawaii, the other titular half of the duo, Lilo, or any of the other characters? Well, yes and no. I mean, we do technically meet in this world, you know, Gantu, Stitch, obviously, Jumba, and, the Grand Councilwoman, surprisingly, but, yeah, if you were expecting to visit Hawaii, no dice, or to adapt any part of the movie apart from the beginning, which, even in that case, like, in terms of what the movie did at the beginning, was incredibly brief, and also handled very differently, especially in terms of some characterization here and there. But, yeah, in the meantime, we're basically here to kind of pick up the pieces. Again, since Ventus is visiting this world last, this is pretty much meant to be the bit before Stitch escapes onto Earth and then pretty much just goes through his whole jump in a spaceship, land on Earth, and do a thing, really. Except things don't quite play out that way, because there's kind of a weird implication that Stitch doesn't end up in Hawaii, but rather Radiant Garden, where, you know, the whole Kingdom Hearts 2 thing takes place, so does Lilo and Stitch technically happen in this world, or did he land in Hawaii but then traverse to other worlds? Because, I mean, in Lilo and Stitch, and I'm basing this purely off the television series as well, where they were hunting for, like, other experiments or whatever, again, they did have access to a spaceship, so given the fact that space in this case also seems to imply, you know, traveling between dimensions, I suppose that does mean that Stitch could go on off-world adventures while still keeping Lilo and Stitch itself in continuity? I guess? Yeah, whatever. By the way, this is Zack's D-Link, and it actually has a very useful finisher, but by god, the combo meter that you have to build up is, well, I mean, a bit, pish. Because it basically means that, well, I mean, among other things, I can't access the finisher as well, and by the time I do get access to the finisher, I pretty much have no other way of using it, so yeah, to hell with me, I guess. And this is pretty much Ventus's pish minigame, although it's a rather good one, actually. Combat sequences, well, the alert is signing on. Whoopee. And there are people outside, which means I have to start commentating a bit quieter now. Damn my paranoia. By the way, that's Spark. I believe it's Spark Raid. I'm kind of confusing it with Spark Dive from Dream Drop Distance, so my mind's a little bit fractured at the moment. But anyway, this is me trying to desperately show off Zack's D-Link finisher, which is Hero's Pride, and again, you didn't see. You won't be seeing it in Ventus' story. You might be seeing it in. No, you won't be seeing it in Aqua's story either. You'll be seeing it in Terra's story, but yeah, Hero's Pride is a rather deadly finisher. Especially for the fact that, you know, Zack actually uses it on you! Yep. Okay, you don't really get to see it apart from, like, one enemy, but yeah, this is an incredibly powerful combo. And, unlike your regular finishers, you do have, well, actually, no, you do have, invincibility frames in your regular finishers. Silly me. But, in turn, you also have, well, Zack using that on you, and, by god, it is fucking deadly no matter how high leveled you are. Sure, I'm glad there's no Mirage Arena segment that uses that power to the nth degree. But yeah, Spark Raid kind of works similar to Reflect Raid from Chain of Memories, actually, where it pretty much just sends out different raids to pretty much wipe out the enemies. It's kind of similar in nature to Wind Raid, but still quite useful, so it's got a permanent place in my deck. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm busy showing off literally everything else about the fucking command deck system. I can't play the way that I want to because I have to show things off because I'm bound by the rules of commentary. By the way, this is Wingblade.
Oh.
I don't know how you did it, but you won't get away again. You haven't fooled me. You can bat your eyes all you want at the Grand Councilwoman so she'll reconsider your sentence. But I see you for what you really are. An abomination that's only instinct is to destroy everything it touches.
Oh no. Actually, it's kind of a shame we have attempted this world first as Ventus, because again, like the whole character element of Stitch in this world is that, again, he's basically a hellish killing machine, so much so that one of his initial names in the movie in terms of his experiment designation was initially 666 before Disney put the kibosh on that, but yeah, the whole presence is that, you know, oh, Terra and Aqua visited this world, and they taught Stitch the concept of friendship, which is why he, I guess, is meant to subtly push the whole development of Lilo and Stitch in terms of, you know, getting Stitch to be a good little fuzzball and learn the value of family and friendship. you know, with the whole Ohana thing from the movie. But, yeah, he barely gets to know Ventus, although Stitch does spend the most time with Ventus compared to any of the other characters, so... I mean, I guess it does make sense why he tends to team up with him the most, but... yeah. I suppose it would also make sense as to why Stitch has a good bond with Sora, except, well, I mean, if I talked any more about that would delve into spoiler territory, so, scratch that thought. But I suppose to talk about the level in terms of its, design, Deep Space, again, all you pretty much get access to is the spaceship. No Hawaii, obviously, and to some extent I can see why, because in the development phases there was going to be a Jungle Book world, which would have taken up the whole, you know, Jungle Island aesthetic. I mean, Destiny Islands does obviously show up in the game, as we saw right at the beginning with Old Man Xehanort and Ventus, and it will do again, a little bit later actually, and we also have Neverland, which is another world with a very islandy aesthetic, so I can see why they didn't want to adapt Hawaii. I mean, what they could have even really done with that is also a bit of a curiosity, but I don't know, I would have preferred to have seen Hawaii, but then again, thinking back to the Lilo and Stitch movie actually, what could you have really adapted apart from maybe showing some dramatic family scenes in the movie, and then maybe having Unverse show up because of Stitch's rage and uncontrollable destruction issues? I don't know, that's just kind of me thinking out loud as to what a potential Lilo and Stitch world in Kingdom Hearts could have been like, but I guess this really was the best way to sort of adapt it, but yeah. In terms of the level design itself, I mean, I'd say it's fairly linear, but you do have a fair bit to explore with character-exclusive areas depending on where you go, similar to pretty much every other part of the game, really, so... Again, like, I mean, it's not terrible, but... it does run the gamut of just feeling a little bit more, well, clinical. But I mean, it does represent the design of the movie quite nicely. Again, it has that whole, you know, sort of alien-esque feel to it, but yeah, there's really not much to this level. It's pretty much just beating up Unversed and, I don't know, just getting a brief taste of the world, really. I mean, it doesn't adapt the full story, but I don't know, it's brief, but decent enough for what it is. It's kind of difficult for me to describe, really, about what makes this world at least decently enjoyable for me. It's, well, I mean, first of all, anti-gravity gimmicks. I don't know. I mean, I think the music might play a part in it as well. Like, I mean, the battle theme is pretty cool. You know, the passive level theme is pretty chillax, so I don't know. It's just a fairly enjoyable level, I suppose. Well, I mean, again, I suppose I should probably go into have I seen the movie, but I guess the obvious answer to that is yes. I've seen it many times throughout my childhood, and actually decided to watch it not too long ago, actually, and honestly, God, I think it holds up better now than I'm much older to see a lot more of the subtler themes in it than I did when I was a kid, because, again, like, I mean, like, you know, when you're a kid, like, you notice all, you know, the more abstract stuff, like, oh, it's the little alien dude, and they're making friends with this weird little human kid. It's only when you get older that you start to really see stuff. Like, I mean, one of the aspects of the plot that I never really considered as a child compared to now is, like, the whole, again, Nani taking custody of her sister Lilo because their parents were dead from the off-camera disease, but there was also the whole factor of, you know, the fact that Nani could have lost custody of her kid sister, which is, again, it was handled a lot more dark than I remember it being, and, yeah, given the fact that Stitch pretty much comes into their life and fucks things up, only to sort of make amends towards the end of the movie, it's, again, it's a very sweet, wholesome story. But, yeah, that's pretty much the only Disney thing I've watched in recent years, apart from the Hercules stuff, which I only really watched so I'd have more to say in the Kingdom Hearts 2 commentary. And that might be something I might have to do a lot more of in, Birth by Sleep, because, again, we're revisiting these worlds not once, not twice, but 3 times. Anyway, this is, Photon Charge. Pretty much Ventus exclusive if you want to get it here. I believe you can get it at the Mirage Arena, but yeah, it's curious, really. Anyway, we've still got more stuff to go on, so it's time for trivia. And, fuck off. Fuck off. Fucking piece of shit text messages. Well, I suppose there is one character that doesn't show up in the, you know, Lilo and Stitch Deep Space world, and one that actually would have made sense with this world is Pleakley, who was pretty much the, you know, representative slash sidekick of the Grand Councilwoman who was there to pretty much monitor Jumper and capture the experiments, whatever. Also, kind of remembering the TV series also had a weird thing for cross-dressing, which I'm not really too sure if that would fly today, but yeah, Pleakley doesn't appear at all in this world, even though he technically should. Which is kind of odd, really. Like, I mean, because Pleakley himself wasn't one of the bigger characters of the movies, so would it really have been that much trouble to get Kevin McDonald to reprise his role, or was it just a factor of not really having anything for him to do? Because, I mean, again, there is like a character model for Pleakley in the game's files, but it's not used for some reason. Yeah, weird. But I mean, all that aside, I suppose, it's, again, it's fairly decent. It's just more so awkwardly paced in terms of its, you know, Disney World movie plotting, because in terms of the opening of Lilo and Stitch, you pretty much have, like, you know, in terms of how the movie represents it, and I can say this because I've seen it, it pretty much represents it as, you know, the scientist, Dr. Jumbo Jukiva. You know, he has all these experiments, he's pretty much being tried for his crimes, Stitch escapes, and that pretty much begins the movie where they chase him down to Earth, and, you know, heartfelt family drama and, you know, sci-fi antics ensue. So really, it's, yeah, it's kind of like an extended thing where the Kingdom Heartsian characters just sort of try and plead Stitch's case a little bit more, try and bond with him and teach him the value of friendships and circles and aerials in the sky, except we are in space, and not in the sky. I don't know why I had System of a Down on the mind there. It's just how these commentaries go sometimes. By the way, these turrets are slightly irritating because they fire at inopportune times and they do it in bursts of 3. Which hurts when you're trying to leap at them or use your commands, which, yeah, again, if you're ever using your commands, you'll pretty much instantly teleport to the ground in order to use them. I mean, it pretty much makes them the less useful option compared to your typical magic spells in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and 3. Therefore making me kind of prefer those games a little bit. Again, command deck, not terrible, it's just that, needs some refinement. And I mean, arguably, Dream Drop Distance was sort of that refinement, except not really, because that game's command deck has problems of its own. Begins with a Dree, ends with an E meters, so, yeah. But anyway, the anti-grav gimmick is fun. Not really too much to say about this world, really. Which means I am probably gonna have to space out my special trivia tidbits for when we get to Aqua and Terra scenario, but I mean, I do at least have, some, you know, bits of interest in their world, although I guess I don't really have much else to say other than to talk about voice actor trivia, because why the fuck not? Yeah, I believe this is actually one of the few worlds in Kingdom Hearts, you know, worlds in terms of, like, you know, getting the main cast members to reprise their roles. Yeah, I believe they pretty much did manage to get all the characters to reprise their roles in the Deep Space world, which is actually quite surprising, but also pretty cool. I mean, obviously they lack, you know, some of the more, I guess, stars they probably couldn't get, like, you know, Tia Carrera or, fuck, I forgot who Lilo's voice actress was. Well, I mean, obviously, since they don't appear, and, again, Kevin McDonald is absent, obviously, but yeah, they did pretty much manage to get all the available voice actors, including Chris Sanders, who is not only the creator of Stitch, but also is a voice actor. Which, you know what, I think I'll get into that trivia when we come to this world again as Aqua, but yeah, how they got Chris Sanders back is a mystery to me, and one I would like solved. I guess maybe he liked Kingdom Hearts enough, or maybe it wasn't his contract to return? Who knows, really?
End of the line! Hey! You shouldn't be here! What is it?
And you know what, I will give the Deep Space World this, at least in terms of the visitors Ventus. At least this giant unversed jellyfish creature, you know, sucking away the ship's power, which, by the way, if you let it get too low, you do pretty much get an instant, "Nah mate, game over." So, yeah, you're gonna defeat this thing quick, but that's pretty much no problem for us at this point, because we're pretty powerful, and, also have a reaction command with Stitch, which we can use to take this thing down with ease. But yeah, I mean, in terms of what I was saying earlier, I mean, the fact that Ventus actually has a reason to be here, he sees Unversed, he's trying to help people out to put a stop to it, again, it's reasonably solid. So, again, maybe had the story done more of this and less of, "I gotta find Terra, I'm just here to make friends." Then maybe I might be singing a slightly different tune compared to a lot of the negativity and bitching that I have been doing throughout a majority of Ventus' story.
gotten into you? I see. Your wayfinder broke. Well, don't worry. Friendship's more than an object.
Friendship circle?
Don't let the little mimic fool you. You saw for yourself what kind of monster that thing is. All it knows how to do is hurt and destroy.
Monster? He helped me stop the monster!
You must have triggered some sort of mutation, hidden in the little freak's genetic coding.
Then, friend!
That's right. We are friends.
Better say your goodbyes now, because 626 is about to be destroyed. Stop that!
Come on!
Sound the alert! Prisoners on the loose! Don't let them get away!
Where are we going?
Hyperdrive has been activated. System charging. Warning. Guidance is not functional. Navigation failure. Do not engage hyperdrive. Repeat, do not engage.
Break formation, get clear!
What is it? What's going on?